All right, young scholars. Don't want people transfer. What did we learn last week, Patrick? You, you keep, you keep meticulous records, and I ask you this question because of that. XHTML, the strict version of HTML, XML, and JSON. You know, how we move data around. So, I have an e-commerce PowerPoint slide deck here from Kyle and Damon's favorite person. A lot of this is kind of out of date, but it gives you a general idea of how you connect with people. If you're running a business online, certain things you might want to do just in case you're going to do an e-commerce site and like sell stuff on it. Patrick, I think, was doing something with selling golf packages. Emily's selling clarinets. No. Restoration of clarinets. That's it. Oh, any instrument. Okay. And there's something about widgets, how to calculate what things are worth. Who's ever heard that term, widgets? Just a couple of you. So in business terms, like if you want to calculate like the cost of something, a lot of old people like Billy and I will like just say widget instead of like, hey, water bottle or laptop, because it can just apply to anything. So the point of that is at some point tonight, we're going to talk about advertising using social media. Has anybody signed up for the blogs.shu.edu to use a WordPress blog for their website? Anybody? All right. Who's using Wix? Raise your hand. Who's using Courses? You don't know yet? Anybody using another free software like a Squarespot? I don't know, Space? Okay, so it's either undecided, Wix, or Courses. Mark, what did you decide? Courses? Oh, we got a message. Who's messaging? Chat. Robert is thanking me for sending in the Teams link. Fair enough. So what are we doing tonight? Philip, what are we doing tonight? Who's ever heard of CMS, Content Management Systems, before? Mom doesn't use that for her business. Did Billy mention this in Python? Sounds like something he might have, like since you said he didn't really teach Python. Who's had like a necklace? I think Daniel Ledick teaches that. Social media marketing, digital marketing, it's called now. Did he teach this? Yeah, he taught you WordPress and content management systems. Very briefly. Well, tonight it'll be very briefly too, because it's one class meeting. What is CMS, Patrick? CMS. What does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean? We created and stored data last week. What's the difference? Different systems? What kind of systems? It does say content management. Okay, so is that why you're using Wix? So you don't have to know anything? Wix is technically a content management system. What have you done with Wix, softball star? What did you just do? Right, but like, what did you do? Did you have to do any like JavaScript coding or JSON or anything like that? What did you do? And what did you do to the template? What did you edit? What did you do? Use your words. What did you do? You added text, you changed images. So that's what a content management system is. So my little blog crap here, this is a content management system. So like when I post a random page about what we're doing that night, see how much better this looks in a content management system than it does on Blackboard? Blackboard is a LMS, a learning management system. So it doesn't really matter how it looks because it's just applied to learning. The only learning management system company that cares about how it actually looks is Canvas, which, you know, of course, you're paying all this money and Seton Hall chooses Blackboard instead. Billy, how do individuals get CMS? With all the times I shot Billy in this class. Right. Who's ever seen a cPanel before? Website? Dom? No? Looked up like it piqued your interest. Has the cPanel. There we go. So when you actually like buy your own domain, if you ever choose to do that, you might have like, if you have GoDaddy, SiteGround, HostGator, whatever company you decide to choose, you'll have what's called a cPanel. They'll look something like this. There'll be a bunch of random buttons everywhere. There'll be a section files. File manager is basically what we've been doing with WinSCP. And what was the other one that the Mac users are using? Duck Hunt, CyberDuck. Basically, that's what file manager is. You're just moving your stuff up as you need. You can click the backups button and get a backup of all your websites. But then your content management systems would be under software/services. You just click a button for most of them and it downloads it to you. Make sense? So instead of CGI Center, you might have WordPress, Joomla, Drupal. Rob, why do we want to use content management systems? Patrick mentioned one of them. Yeah. Yeah. So Mike and wife, Rob, Patrick, Billy. What do you remember of me telling you in, oh, you were in 27012. Too. What do you remember me telling you? The primary difference between Access and SQL was? You don't remember? You guys had it 3 years ago. You don't remember. You had it 3 years ago too. Billy, do you remember? Yeah. Well, why did the people that use it use it? Yeah. But they use it because you could just click random buttons to do everything for you. SQL, you actually have to know, select from where, the actual commands actually do stuff. So that's why people use CMS. Don't have to know anything. So like WordPress, like my blog there. Okay, wants me to log in again. Do that. You need to know anything to create a blog here? Not really. You click appearance. You decide to select one of these themes. If you want to embed stuff in like I did, you might download a plugin called EmbedPress. You might want to create pages. You just click pages and then add new, make a title of it, put whatever you want to put inside it. Might want to make a post. You just click post, click add new, and put whatever you want inside it. Simple enough, right? What's that? Geico, right? Had that old commercial with the caveman, right? So simple, even a caveman could do it. Damon, do you think you could use WordPress? Yes? What class? History of New York? Isn't that a movie? Oh, gangs. Yeah, I'm old, remember? So how long did you use it and what'd you do with it? What does it look like? What is it? Blogs dot? What's your short name? Bata D2? No results found. It was so bad they took it off. They were graded on a curve on that too. So WordPress also has like Wix, a free version, but then all your stuff is just kind of stored on that WordPress. I think there's WordPress.com where you can download anything from, and WordPress.org is the one you can sign up for and join. So Kyle, you look so engaged in class tonight.
Yeah.
You're here. Well, that's better than most. What is content? What does that mean? Yeah, I know. I wrote that. What does it mean? What does that mean? Okay. What does that mean? Who wants to help him? Mark, do you want to help him? Yeah, what is content? Give me an example. What's data?
At the molecular level.
Give me an example of content. Yes. Billy, didn't you like sell hats or something? Or was that somebody else in your class? Somebody in your class would show up with like random boxes every week. And they were like selling hats off campus here. Do you remember? did you have me last fall or in the spring? For 2701? So you took both classes with me in the spring? 2701 and 3727? You took 3727 in the spring. So you're in the fall. Were you in the spring? 2701?
That's again.
And you don't remember the kid who showed up with like boxes of hats? No. That could be content too, like sending out a tweet, hey, I got these new Yankees hats. What else could be content, Emily? What kind of videos? Okay. What else, John? What kind of image? Instagram posts, okay, that could be content. What about you? What kind of example are you gonna give? Podcasts, okay, perfect. And what kind of data would a podcast be? Damon? Most likely has audio, unless they screwed up and didn't have the mic on properly. It might also have video, right? What else might it also have that could be considered content? Subtitles? Transcript? What's on your laptop? What's on Patrick's laptop? What's on Kyle's laptop? What's on Rahul's laptop? What's on Mike's wife's laptop? What's on Rob's laptop? Advertisements. That could be content too. What does authoring tools mean? Do you let Mike use your phone? Yeah? What is that called? You gave him what to use your phone? Permissions. So authoring tools with CMS allows you, okay, I'm running this website, but John can also use it. Dom can use it. And Philip can use it. Austin can use it. Authoring tools allows you to give different people different access. So who's had any class with using SQL before? It doesn't Viswa teach this stuff? Did he show you how you're a super user and you can make other people sub users? No? No? What do the people here? Emily, did you have that? Viswa? He taught you SQL? Did he teach you the difference between super users and sub users? Active learning quizzes. That were extra credit. They didn't even count. No, they weren't extra credit. I thought somebody said they were extra credit. So he gave you quizzes on active learning instead of what he actually taught in the class? No wonder you work all. Only take the adjuncts at night. So Patrick, how do we create and manage HTML and images? We can upload, we can make a new post. What else can we do? We could put in hyperlinks, yep. I mean, you have examples of all this on my content manager. Where does helpful links go? Got all this junk up here, right? We got other hyperlinks, the project examples. Got project help that has what embedded in it? YouTube videos. Who's the one that had the proposals embedded? Proposal examples, I'm gonna assume. This is all content, right? So if you were to actually put this on your own courses page, David, what would you have to know? Yeah, so what do you think is gonna come up when I right click to view source for this? A lot of embeds, right? iframe embed for the YouTube video. iframe embed for all the slideshows. You actually have to know how to do that, where to get the copy code from, right? Content management system, upload it, you hit a couple buttons, it does it for you, right? So look at all this stuff here, right? All lines of code, right? So for today's presentation, PowerPoint, Billy's e-commerce slides, that's all the code I need in a content management system. Much easier than, 3 giant lines of code, right? So something to keep in mind when you're putting together your project. Wix might be simpler than just actually creating a website that you uploaded courses. Blogs.shu.edu that you have to sign up for and they have to give you permission to use. Might be easier. Anybody ever hear of these? MySQL, PHP, Apache? Did Viswa teach you any of this? Yes, he taught you this? Oh. Isn't there a class with SQL and R? Yeah, and he didn't touch on any of these. Isn't it the same class? It's 2 different ones? Didn't- Well, PHP, I taught you a little bit about. Graph guy? Draw us a graph from Viswa. Yeah. Did he teach you Java 3D programming so you could do them on your own? Basically, he just taught you stuff you could hit 2 buttons in Excel to do. Just true.
And you come,
Well, it always looks better in Excel. So what is the difference between these three? What did Viswa teach you that SQL is? Why is it called business intelligence? It doesn't sound like there's anything intelligent going. What's the word under MySQL? Database. SQL is involved with databases. Storing data, data warehousing. PHP we went over, right? It enhances HTML code. But what about Apache? Any guesses, Lucas? No guesses? What if I offered you money? Then you'd give me a guess? Wish I had Halloween candy left. Put the basket out while I was here and even the basket's gone. Maybe they used it to get their own candy from other house. What do you think Apache is? Emily, you seem like you know a lot of things. You're in a lot of clubs, right? With Gizzy Nick, you're in like 8 different clubs with her. But you accepted my request. So explain that in English instead of what Google told you. It's basically what a server has settings wise. It allows, okay, like we did our forms, what was it, 2 weeks ago? Okay, they actually work if you actually put the quotes in right and spits out the info, right? So PHP is installed, Apache's installed. Why do I know that? Other than I told Tom to do it that way. How do I know that? That, because it has to be live and the form worked, right? If PHP and Apache settings weren't on the web server courses.shu, like when I first taught this class, we used pirate.shu, nothing worked because it didn't have Apache, didn't have any of the settings set up. So what is it similar to, Dom? What else do you use in this class? What's the answer? What do you use to upload your stuff onto courses? Well, what do you use? You have a Mac, so you use CyberDuck. You have to have certain settings set up, right? We have to make sure that it's the encrypted login. What's the other thing we had to change? The FTP. John? Port number is usually 21. We have to change that if it's wrong. What are these called, Damon? Parameters, settings, restrictions. You've never heard of these terms in other classes? Did you have Billy for all of your classes? Well, this is what I was told to teach, but I'm gonna teach whatever I want. What are the 3 most common CMS? Kyle? Very good. So what are we gonna talk about tonight? Just WordPress? All of them. Show you the difference between the three. That's why it's WordPress, comma, content management systems in writing. What are the differences? Softball star, give me a difference. Yeah, give me one of the four differences I mentioned. Okay? We should be fairly clear on that. We've kind of touched on that multiple times now, right? We could make changes like you did to your Wix website without really having to know anything. It's like when you first started playing softball, what did they do? Well, what was your first experience? What did they call it? Your first time playing? Practice? How about baseball? What's the first thing you do in baseball? Or you can advance to playing for real? T-ball. They didn't do that? No? You were that gifted, you just walked on a, you were late? When did you start? And then you started softball? So you've only been playing softball a decade? And playing at a Division I Big East college? Not bad. Mark, how long did you play soccer before you came here? 16 years? 15? Yeah. He he stopped wearing diapers and then walked onto a soccer pitch. Polish Mexican. Is this true?
They tend to be.
Even Polish?
Yeah.
I could assume,
They have one of the best strikers.
Polish?
Yeah, but
I just know those big three guys that have been around forever that keep breaking the law. And Mbappe.
he's a new one.
Damien, do you break the law? Why not? Well, then give us one of the other three differences. Yeah, we went over that for 2 weeks, right? Do you think you could write your own for like let's say ESPN.com as an example? Yes, no? No? Emily, do you think you could be the web domain manager for ESPN.com? Probably not. Maybe not right now. Give it a couple of years. You gotta let all this crap that I've been spewing since August seep into your brain and marinate. So then what would the positive be of a content management system? Kyle Damon, do you think you would have benefited if Billy didn't teach Python? And you had Rosenthal? What?
On one hand, it's like
You learn in Python, Emily?
And like when I asked him,
Then he wonders why everybody's begging me to teach other classes. I don't care that they want a night Python class. Okay. What do I mean when I say CMS enables content to be shared across the websites? What the heck does that mean? Yeah, technically, you could use it for advertising. Maybe. So if you have, let's say, 8 websites in your cPanel, Patrick, let's make up a website name for you. Patrick's website, .org or .com? .gov. Okay, which you can't buy, but we'll do it anyway. Patrick's website, .gov. And Rob, give us another website he owns. Yeah. Okay, I don't know .gov. So now we got 2. Let's just use one more for the example. Billy? Just make up any stupid website that doesn't exist. Patrick's second website .gov. So you got these 3 websites that don't exist, right? So if he uploads, let's say he has WordPress, he uploads a file. Does he have to put that same file on all 3 websites? Nope. If he's got a content management system, he just uses the link to put it in to the other 2, or it's not uploaded. If he had a regular static or dynamic website, he would use the source HTML code that I taught you probably September. They all can store information for you. But what are they? Mike, what are they? What's the 3rd bullet say? Oh, the 3rd bullet. That's the 5th bullet. What does that mean? What does that mean? Right. So you guys have courses.shu.edu, right? Who pays for that? Who pays for that? You do. Emily, who paid for your Wix website? So who paid for it? You guess you? But you didn't pay a dime, right? Wix paid for it. Emily, what are you doing yours on? What are you doing your, Damon, you're doing yours on courses, you said? You're gonna do Wix? Patrick, what are you gonna do yours on? Wix? Mark, what are you gonna do yours on?
I didn't know what was that. It sounded like courses.
It's all up to you guys. I mean, I could help you find templates, and you could like do an awesome courses site like Medea did. It's up to you. That's why you are the master of your own domain. Damon, are you the king of the castle? Sure. Another Seinfeld reference none of you got. Do you know that one? No, from the contest? What's Joomla? Kyle, did Billy teach you this? What's Joomla? Just read the first bullet.
Altogether, rather.
See, it's a content management system. They even use Swahili words to come up with types. All together now. So what can be put together? You could have a words, a website, a database. Mike, what's something you like to do? Watch TV. You do Netflix? So who else does Netflix? So what happens when you like log in? What does it show you? So how does it tell you what's recommended? Do you know? Yeah, there's an algorithm. Oh, Mike has watched Powder Puff Girls. We're gonna recommend I don't know, what's another show that's recently come back? Fairly Odd Parents. And you might be like, nah, no. What's a real example from something you watch? Name something you actually watch. Is that the one with Jennifer Love Hewitt? Like as a massage? Yeah, I've never heard of it. Damon, give us a show I've heard of. What? Community? Dom, give us a show I've heard of. Heard this, Dom. Game of Thrones? Parks and Rec? How about a show I've seen more than 2 minutes of? What?
Seinfeld is on there.
Seinfeld, okay. So what do you think is the first thing that's gonna come up for recommendations if you've watched Seinfeld on Netflix?
I think it would pop up.
What's the first thing that's gonna pop up if it's actually on Netflix, which I don't know? Curb Your Enthusiasm. Maybe. But I would assume Curb Your Enthusiasm. Same executive director, primarily the same people. What was I talking about? Netflix, right. So the same thing can be said with other systems, right? Patrick, you shop on Amazon. What happens at the bottom? Okay, and what else? What if you're logged in? Yeah, so probably a lot of like golf equipment. Okay. Where do you buy it? For the golf course I work at. Do they have a website? And it doesn't do that? It doesn't have an algorithm that sees, oh, he bought 85 golf balls today. Let's see if we can sell him a $100 bucket. Oh, lucky. Some of us have to go to like Dick's Sporting Goods or online order. Yeah, they give you free gifts. Let's go to Patrick's golf course and get free stuff. We all went as a class where we get like comped at lunch or dinner. We comped you at lunch? What's Kyle's problem? What did you say?
I said I've been confident. Oh, yeah. I use the company
Oh, I thought that was like a dirty joke, like he meant he was like, got groped at a dinner or something. Yeah, so we went over that it's open source. So why do you think Joomla is easy to install, simple to manage, and reliable? You just click that button I showed you, right? In the cPanel to install it, right? And I showed you in here, you just kind of click a bunch of buttons, right? You can upload file manager, download it through the software. What is reliable? Billy, are you reliable? Say so? So describe yourself as a reliable young scholar. So how do you think that would apply to a website or content management system? Yeah, it's uptime is a lot. You know, it's there, it's visible all the time. If you want to do something, like I showed you with the WordPress, if I want to make a post, it's available. Remember we had those issues a couple of weeks ago? Where, you know, Tom decided to upload or update courses and didn't bother to actually check if it still worked. So thank God Emily alerted me that it was down for a day. Then it took them all day Monday to actually fix it. Thankfully, right before class started, it was back up and running. Unreliable. Content management systems, more reliable. How's Joomla written, Damon? Okay. Did Billy teach you that? Oops. Really? He said it? Oh, yeah, that's true. How about Rosenthal? Does he teach oops in Python? No? Emily, does Rosenthal teach oops? Oops. Object-oriented programming structure. Does it even say it on his syllabus that he's gonna teach object-oriented programming? You don't listen to me. I told him to break the VBA test up into two. He still has it as one. I tell him you all want me to teach a night section of Python, maybe an extra section of Viswas classes. Oh. Sorry. What is page caching? Does anybody know? John? Well, that would technically be backups, but you're to some degree on the right track. Pat, do you know? Are you gonna Google like Emily? Yeah. What is page caching? Not like that nut job lady that was on Dr. Phil years ago, cash me outside. maybe. Who else wants to take a guess?
Um, isn't it just like that certain websites are already like preloaded, so it helps the software program like load and run faster, or like grab the information faster?
Yep. When you go to a web page, like you see when I pull up ESPN, it pops up almost immediately. I saw that the Colts are again brain dead, and Jim Irsay should immediately sell the team. Second time in the last month that he made a stupid decision that's gonna cause his team to lose every game. What do you think, Mark? You don't follow? It loads quicker, right? Because I go to it almost every class, right? That's what page caching is. So the same can be applied to websites that you're actually updating, making changes to. How do you think, Emily? How do you think? How do you think that this applies to updates and making changes? Where the hell is Gizzy? How long does it take to argue with a professor? How long does it take to argue with a professor? Must be Rosenthal. That's why we gave it to you. Kyle's so bored. Billy didn't teach you this either? And do it in Spanish too, you said, right? French?
Languages.
You don't even know French. Okay. So the correct answer is when you update or modify a web page or your website, and you go to that website, because of page caching, it might show the previous version of it. So what button do you hit to refresh your website? Or two buttons? Control R. It'll work if whoever made the website has dumped their cache. So I use SiteGround. So inside my cPanel on SiteGround, there's a button that says cache tracking, I think. I click that. It has a little drop down for cache. I click cache. I go to the middle option and dump the cache. And then I click Control R and everything refreshes. So let's go to the ESPN example. What's going to be the first thing that pops up? Okay, something about women's basketball. Before it was about how the Colts are brain dead and fired Frank Lloyd Wright. Oh boy. Josh Allen is potentially injured. So see how they updated this middle thing here? So anytime they update it, they have to clear the cache or flush the cache. And then you go on it and it's updated, right? Kyle, what showed up the last time you went to ESPN? Okay. Let's go to your favorite website. Does this look the same as it did? Didn't he have like something on the side that said like office hours at 10 PM? He got fired from Brookdale for doing it. Like, don't submit it to Blackboard, put it on my website. Or in Tube, you wanna see too? That probably hasn't been updated in months. Since he hasn't recorded videos. in it. So let's go to your class. Office hours, Tuesday 4 to 5, Wednesday 11 to noon. Thursday 4 AM to 5 PM. Yeah. So here, what did he teach you? Logarithm? Did he actually teach this or was this just recordings from when he taught this years ago? He says he teaches you classes and objects. Math library. List in NumPy. Did he teach you NumPy? What? Does Rosenthal teach any of this? Classes and objects? Typecasting? Functions? N-dimensional arrays? What? What'd you say, Emily? That's probably why Rosenthal doesn't bother teaching. MVC is boring, I took that out, so. Here's some information on why you might want to choose Joomla. You can look at that as you choose. WordPress, even though it's awesome, there are some issues. Emily, what are some of these issues? It took you an hour to yell at your professor? Oh. Okay. Emily. Yeah? Do you know it? Any of you know what that means? If I go into WordPress and settings, and permalinks. I could change and, make changes to how the structure is set up. But if I do that, what happens? When you try to open the links, they're gonna be broken. You can't go to them because I changed the setup of the link. Right, Patrick? What did I say about membership functionality? You remember from 12 minutes ago? Yeah, what does that mean? You said Viswa didn't teach you this. Remember? Maybe he did, but you tuned him out and don't remember? His stuff is so dry. Not all of us record every lecture to benefit the young scholars. That's why they got tenure and I don't. Kyle, do you remember that conversation from 14 minutes ago? Yeah. No, who remembers? Nobody? Remember I said there can be a super user and then sub users? So like, do I even have this option? So I'm one of the users. So technically, I'm just an administrator. Tom, the guy who takes care of courses and blogs, would technically be the super user. But, and I don't think they'll allow me to do this because technically I don't own this website, Seton Hall does. But I could technically add sub users. So let's say Rob wanted to post on my blog for some reason. I could add him. Mike wanted to talk about how boring I am and he hates taking classes on me. He's so disappointed he wasted his time and money taking me again. He wants to make that known and rate my professor was down. So he might, be added as a sub user. So don't you think that would make it good for like blogging? A lot of people want to put together their own blogs or something. Patrick might want to do that. Talk about golf. And Kyle might want to do it, but he does, he's bored all the time. He's falling asleep in his classes. Oh, okay, I'll post one a week. I show up in that fat old guy's class at the web design. I'll do it in his class. So Patrick gives him user status on the golf blog. And Kyle, spends this class typing up the blog. And Mark might, I've spoken to CJ or, I forgot his name. No, the other one who had this class last fall. JP might want to, have a soccer blog and they give Mark access as a user. Damon may want to create a website bashing Billy. So he might give Kyle user access. Emily might start a anti-Rosenthal website. And Softball Star as a sub-user, and maybe Gizzyneck as a sub-user. And I don't know, maybe Evan is a sub-user, right? Similar kind of thing to I showed you child and parent. This is related to users. So you might have the super user and then people under them. So why do people use WordPress? Austin. Okay. Does that group you and Emily are in have a website? Does that group that you and Emily are in have a website? No? Aren't you in like 8 groups? Name one of them that has a website. Girls Who Code, what is the website? Girlswhocode.com. What's the Seton Hall one? Damien, are you in that group with them? What's that group you're in with Emily and Gizzy? Which Nicole? Who's the 4th? Kyle?
No, not on a beta. That like.
Well, you're in like 8 clubs, aren't you?
Yeah, the president of.
I can't keep track of them. What's a one that has an actual website for Seton Hall? Damon, aren't you in one of these? the 5 of you are in beta? Does beta have a website?
We have an Instagram.
Seton Hall University clubs? Maybe? Maybe it's on here somewhere. None of these are yours. Is this it? We're only at the A's and we want P's?
Beta out the side.
This isn't a website.
Just the details what the club is.
Is his son in it? Holtzman?
No.
I had him, I think, in the spring. He's not in it? I thought he was an accounting major. Oh,
Next, I knew you said history.
history? Why did he bother taking 2701?
He's a bio.
Well, what's his major?
It's bio.
Why did he take 2701 in the spring or? But yeah, so all this, what is the Instagram page? Maybe that'll come up. What's it called?
Back underscore
BAP?
BAP.
No, I don't want to say. Not today. So Krispy Kreme fundraiser.
Yes.
You could have done a WordPress website and had a whole page devoted to that. Instead of just a random picture that 8 people interacted with. Same thing with Beyond the Big Four. Kyle, maybe you should do that for your project in this class. Make this not,
Oh, that's a cool.
This is all my doing.
this is your doing?
Yes, this is my,
And you're not making a website for this?
no,
Why?
because we don't need one.
Why not?
Beta is too
Beta's too small? Well, whose fault is that, Miss President?
COVID.
COVID?
Yes. Everyone.
Where are you, Kyle?
I was there.
I'll get all the likes.
I don't, oh, I don't want to log in.
There's me. There you go. That's why we went to KPMG. That was,
Are any of those people still here?
this was, September.
Really?
Yeah,
I don't recognize any of them. Is that Emily in the front there?
yeah. That was the one.
Who's next to Emily there? Right here, who is that?
Damon's
Damon's behind her?
Yeah.
That's Damon's 2 people behind her. So what was the point of that, Lucas? They could translate all that into a WordPress website and actually have like, okay, we're doing Krispy Kreme donut thing this week, and here's the page related to it. And send it out to everyone in the Stillman community through that email. But did everybody get that weird email from Professor Hunter over the weekend?
No.
No. Apparently he quit some kind of committee because they wouldn't approve some kind of student evaluation he wanted to do. Do we send out an email to everybody that is related to Stillman and? Well, maybe it's just the faculty. But I thought Stillman Community was, Emily sent her extra credit request. You didn't get this? The whole email is in caps about how he's quitting something because they didn't approve something he wanted to approve. I think he's a law professor, so. So WordPress, you could use the free version, you could download it through your cPanel if you bought your own. And there's different themes. So what theme do I have, Patrick? What is my theme here? Does it say? So I have the theme Rhoda by Just Free Themes for my blog. Who remembers Rhoda? No? I think Rhoda was played by Danny DeVito's ex-wife 50 years ago. Did Billy teach you that, Damon? No. What? All together now. What are issues that may exist with Drupal, Emily? This one's an easy one. It's a nice little layup, softball, if you will. Okay, that's one of the issues. So isn't the point of content management systems to not have to learn things? It kind of just does it for you, right? We talked about that Gizzy Nick missed our discussion on. So how do you think I would discuss or order WordPress, Joomla, and Drupal? Thank you. I try to ask good questions. In that order, very good. WordPress, probably the easiest to use. Then Joomla, probably the second easiest to use, but you kind of have to know a little bit. And then Drupal, well, you don't have to know everything, but you should know quite a bit. There's other types of content management systems. Philip, what are they? You ever use Weebly? All right, we got to see this. What is it?
History.
A history of the Cold War. Oh boy, what is this going to be? In 7th grade, you did this? This is better than some of the websites that were made in the 2020 class. What kind of pictures do you have? He's dead now. And you didn't put the Simpsons clip in here? Gorbachev tearing down this wall, and it's Reagan punching McDonald's? No? Or not the Simpsons, Family Guy. So Gizzy Nick did that in 7th grade, right? Which kind of proves the point about content management systems. You know, pretty easy to use without really needing. You never saw that? No, that's what Gizzy Nick should have had on her site. But that's a perfect example of CMS. How old were you in seventh grade? 11, 12. And did you have this class before? Did you have this class right now before? So you had no knowledge of any,
I had no technical knowledge.
and you just clicked a bunch of buttons and made a website, right?
For free.
Hear that? For free.
For free. I think Weebly though, now you have to connect this.
Okay, so Dorsey's causing some issues again. What's the learning curve with some of these, John? To see how I ranked them 1, 2, 3 like that? Because of how much skill you need to know? So Rob, do you still talk to Talir? Does he like help you with some of this stuff for web design? No? He might have some technical expertise from having this class last fall. So he might be able to handle Drupal. Which one do you think you could handle? WordPress, that's it? I've done that bad of a job so far? Oh, God.
They'll take this.
Who? Yeah, I think he graduated.
Didn't take this.
He didn't take this class. Why? He would have liked it? Let's see what he's up to. Does he have a LinkedIn? Are you friends with him? How do you know?
7-0.
When did he graduate? You sure you don't want to work at Deloitte, Patrick? Damn, he did his master's too? Now, apparently he just finished with the masters. Why didn't you tell him? Didn't know him that well? Well, if you want to work at Deloitte, you just tell him, oh, Marino said to get me a job. Yeah, he was, I think, a senior then, but apparently he stayed here and did his MBA. How does e-commerce work with these content management systems? Mike, how does e-commerce work with these content management systems? You don't know? Just read. So you want to sell stuff on your website, what are you probably going to use? Drupal? You're going to use the one with the unstable support? Probably WordPress, right? It's just as plugins you download to do everything for you, right? So who cooks? You or Emily? You? So Emily just kind of shows up, where's dinner, right? It's done for you, right? Or maybe you call and order like pizza or you order out, right? It's done for you. It's the easiest thing, right? It's much easier to have Mike make the food or order out than do it yourself, right? Emily, who cooks for you? You cook for yourself. But do you like cook, or
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
just,
like,
or do you throw like a mac and cheese in the microwave?
I like,
You cook from scratch. What do you cook? Who wants Emily to cook nachos for class on the 21st? 1, 2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So is that something you do, Emily? Cook nachos for the class on the 21st? Well, at least 5 don't show up every class, so it's like 20 people. What do you think we should give her, Damon, for doing that? Okay? It's a lot of work. And what are you gonna make? Cookies? Don't you bake? You do everything. It's all on your Instagram. What? Nix Eats? Why not Gizzy Nix Eats? I don't know. So Emily's gonna bring us nachos. You're gonna bring us chocolate chip cookies? Anybody have allergies? No? Okay, so we're good with chocolate chip cookies, nachos. Do you like nachos? No, another Simpsons reference. Gerald Ford on The Simpsons. George Bush Senior gets in a fight with Homer because of Bart and then moves away. So Gerald Ford moves in and Homer becomes friends with him because they bond over eating nachos together. What are you gonna bring, Patrick? You'll bring the beer? Disney Nick has an issue with it.
I am 21. Also, I don't like these 20. Not everyone.
You'll bring juice boxes? So everybody's kind of clear on that, right? The 21st and the 28th. You just come in to work on your website, and I'm gonna show you the top 10 Seinfeld episodes. So that's why it's kind of like a fiesta. Did Billy teach you that? Yeah,
Yeah, you probably did.
what's it mean? Did he actually teach you that, or you knew that? What's SEO? Other than Gizzy Nick? John? Search engine optimization. So these content management systems have friendliness when it comes to SEO. WordPress is excellent. Joomla's, Drupal's okay. Let's see if I can actually do any of that in here. So let's say I wanted to make a new post. So if you make a new post in WordPress, you can add tags. Do you remember that first couple weeks we talked about something that's 4 letters? It's data about data? What was it called, Kyle? Do you remember? I think, what's his name? Zuckerberg now changed his company name to metadata, data about data. So you can put tags like, Kyle hates this class. Kyle's so bored. Billy didn't teach us anything. And those could now become searchable terms. So what's the first thing that comes up if I search sports? What? Why? Nope. It's got the word sports in the title. So sports.yahoo.com is what? What is that called? The domain is yahoo.com. So what would sports.yahoo.com be? What? Yeah, well, you swang and missed it. It's a subdomain, a domain within a domain. So anytime you see a something.com, the first one is the subdomain. So with SEO, if you have that search term in your name, you're more than likely going to be on the first page. So Sports Illustrated, Fox Sports, ESPN has a crap load of content that all has metadata that includes sports in it. That's why it's on the first page. Mark, can we use you as an example?
Sure.
What happens when we search his name? Did I spell it right? What happens when we search for Mark? What's gonna come up? Maybe his LinkedIn page, maybe his Instagram, more than likely his Seton Hall soccer profile, right? What's gonna be first? Don't know, you've never Googled yourself? When I taught similar classes at Monmouth, that was one of the class exercises, Google yourself. Just make sure your digital footprint isn't all screwy. Probably shouldn't have done that. Because one girl, her mother was on Real Housewives of New Jersey and had a sex tape and. Yeah, but it came up for her. So that's not gonna help her in, the job search. So we got his soccer profile, his LinkedIn page. What's that?
I think the leadership program had
Mark is a leader. Let's see what this is. Got a nice tux on. Throughout high school, Mark showcased his leadership, academic, and athletic skills. He was the captain for Homedale's Fed Challenge competition. Why don't all of you have one of these? You're all young scholars. Who else is under great minds? Didn't have, 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 no, 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 no. No, no, no. Where are all my great minds? Did you like do something as a freshman?
no, it's just like the leadership program. I was like a freshman.
Disselkamp, I think I had him. Great minds. You're all young scholars. You should be great minds, but you're not apparently. No wonder Rosenthal doesn't listen to any of you. What? You didn't serve in the Korean War.
He's picking me up. It's like,
Oh, I know this one. I have her. Is this just this year?
no, dude.
So only two of my young scholars are great minds? What is with this? Well, I'm only like halfway down. how come you're not on here, Gizzy Nick? Why not? Mark, you gotta talk to them. Gizzy Nick has gotten like 113 in classes, and she's not good enough for leadership. There's Mark. So we got 3. Is Alexa's sister Isabella? I had an Isabella Tui. Erin Murphy.
Not a great mind.
Somehow your sister is and you're not.
I can see why.
Does she mention having me in 3727? And how bad I was? You're from Allentown?
That's like the
No mention of me.
got a lot.
I had him, Michael Manners, I think in the spring for 2701, I think, maybe last fall. And yeah, apparently, not too many young scholars of mine are great minds, which is very disappointing. So disappointing. So why does speed matter with these content management systems? Speed. Who's on speed? What is speed, Gizzy Nick? Traffic? Okay. How quickly a page loads, its uptime. So WordPress, high traffic can cause issues. Probably why Gizzy Nick refuses to make a website and just Instagram will always work unless it's down for an entire day. Joomla, faster and less resource intensive. What does that mean? Well, more traffic can go there without having an issue. Drupal, you have to set these settings like Joomla in order for there not to be issues. Plugins. How many plugins are there for each of them, Lucas? Yep. And since I made this slide, there's probably been 20,000 more WordPress plugins made. So that's why people tend to use WordPress over the others too. Plugins basically do things for you. Like I showed you the Embed Press plugin I have for my blog here. All I do is take my YouTube videos, hit the short code button, paste it here, click generate, pop it back into the post, and I'm done. Hit 4 buttons instead of writing a bunch of HTML code, right? Themes. What are themes? What was that show you said that I never heard of? Blacklist. What's the theme of Blacklist? What's it about? Okay, so it's kind of like, what's her name on NCIS? Bless you. Abby Shuda. She hacks their websites and what's that other show that's now off the air? Criminal Minds. The blonde lady. hacked the FBI's website, so they hired her. What? Garcia, thank you, Em. Do you know that, what's his name? The old Italian guy. Rossi was the voice of, Fat Tony, the mobster on The Simpsons. I haven't watched it in 20 years, but. So, yeah, themes are basically just how it looks. Does it look nice? I mentioned I had the Rhoda theme here. I think somebody did Daniela did something for the library. See where hers is. There we go. So let's see what her theme is. So she used Accelerate by Theme Grill. See how they just look different? What does mobile friendly mean? What? Yeah, how it looks on your phone, your iPad, your Chromebook, whatever it may be. Do websites look differently on inside Safari than Firefox or Google Chrome? Some of them might, depending on how they're set up. So you pull out your iPhone, everything looks the same as on Safari, right? Yeah, because it's mobile, right? So like if you pulled up this blog, might just give you like a list of these links instead of the buttons. So all of them are pretty mobile friendly, but not as good as HTML where you could literally set it up to be mobile friendly. So like I mentioned, you could install and set it up through a cPanel. You'd log in through a page called WP-admin or WordPress. So I already kind of showed you the WordPress admin for my thing. Here's just a little video on it. Joomla admin, can you all see that? You have that on your screen? It's kind of a little different and ugly looking. If I make it bigger. Bum, bum. Now can it kind of be seen? So off on the side here, there's buttons. And it's kind of more advanced. So on WordPress, if you just wanted to post something, you just hit post, add new post, write your post, go through everything. Whatever your text is, your images you want to add, and then just hit the post button. You could set it up so like I have on my page, it'll just pop up on Sunday night, you know, the PowerPoint and any extras like you see on Blackboard. Joomla, you got to click new article and then make certain settings for it. So you might have a single article, might have an article set up where it has children to it, like it's a parent article, and there's 8 different articles that are children to it, and it's more advanced. Drupal, similar setup. Everything's off on the side, but it's more advanced. You have to click through and click maybe 2 or 3 different things to set everything up the way you want it. WordPress, it's just, okay, Click pages, okay, add page, do what you need to do. Click post, okay, add post, do what you need to do. Click appearance, set up the themes, do what you need to do. So here's probably Gizzy Nick's favorite. How do we use social media to promote websites, Giddy? Anybody know what any of that means? Only you? Anybody else? What's authenticity? Patrick? Okay. So how can social media add authenticity to your website? No, it's just my website. True. And then I use Instagram and Twitter to promote that, right? It makes it seem more real, right? Mike, do you have a LinkedIn? Are we connected? No, why not? So I think Emily and I just connected. Makes her page more authentic, right? She's now connected to the old man at the front of the room. Can look through my 2,500 connections and possibly talk to some of them to try and get a job, right? Okay. It makes your website seem more legit, right? Like you got all these clubs and Gizzy Nick's just making Instagram profiles. Then what does that tell a consumer? What does that scream to a consumer? You're socially active, okay, maybe. What else? What do you think it screams to a consumer, Kyle? That you care about what? Well, what are you telling them? What are you telling them by just having an Instagram? Trendy?
Yeah, she's correct.
That you're up on the times? You know what you're doing? You're telling them we like to take pictures. We like to show visuals of what we've done. Some people may not care about that. They may just want the information. Like we had that, those couple pictures with promo events you were doing, right? The Krispy Kremes, how many people showed up? Still working on that? What was the other one? KPMG, how many people showed up? 20. How many Instagram followers you got? 116. That's not a good rate. Well, what happens if you had a website and could send it out to the Stillman community of like the 800 kids that go here? That wouldn't help? No? I thought it's 3 set of majors.
Did you have to attend?
You have to attend every meeting? What happens if you're sick?
I introduced you to,
You're not allowed to be
Not-
sick?
that's not true. Seriously, I implemented a new policy this year that you can miss 2 events without, having it count against your induction.
Okay,
It's called the get out of jail free.
okay. Do they get
That's not
$200 for
true.
collecting or for passing go? Do they collect $200 for passing go?
No, they just miss the meeting without penalty.
But Kyle, Instagram might do what? Instagram might do what? What's the second bullet?
Have your attention.
Yeah. Mike, would you prefer going to a website or an Instagram page? Why? More convenient. You just pull the app up on your phone. Who do you stalk on there? No? Do you follow, Gizzy Nick's 8 different clubs? No? Why not? Why don't you advertise in classes?
Maybe some of the tonight's sectors don't like data. They won't promote.
They must be betas. What does boosting imagery mean? Okay,
How you can- That makes sense.
yeah. People are now seeing you. What does inviting interaction mean, Tom? You could post polls on Twitter, get your 116 followers to interact with you instead of just 8 likes on Instagram. Patrick, do you have an Instagram?
I do.
What, how many followers do you have? 1,800?
No.
468. And you don't have any of them following this club you're in.
When I first got the credentials for this, I told everyone on that you were.
And you don't,
I forced Kyle to follow.
you don't invite,
But Kyle doesn't count because he's already in the club.
I can confirm that Pat is like a huge part.
you don't put out a video, you don't put out a, what are they called? Story? You don't put out a story, please follow whatever it's called,
I don't put that in.
for your 8 different groups.
I tagged the Career Center, I tagged Tillman, Instagram account.
It's not the Career Center's responsibility
Well,
then.
they can.
You're
push
the
it.
president.
Yeah, tell others to push the club. I can't just do everything for this club
Why not?
because I'm only one person.
You don't have a vice president
I do.
and you don't promote?
No.
Who's the secretary?
I put a couple.
Ask Kyle why he's in the club.
Why are you in the
These
club?
guys right here.
You just show up because you're
Yeah,
friends?
I just show up.
My guys, yeah.
Yeah? Do you want nothing to do with helping? Emily, what's
Kyle's
your,
not much of a help.
Emily, what's your role in this, you just show up late? You don't have a title?
Emily's an honorary executive.
No wonder you're not on the Great Minds website. Embracing mobile, what does that mean, Kyle?
Make sure you're easily accessible.
Okay. What does elevating user-generated content mean? Evan? Content is king, right? Would you prefer somebody do it for you? Like Kyle's job should from now on be getting Twitter followers for this club. Patrick should be getting Instagram followers.
Should be.
I'm gonna try.
Damon should make a LinkedIn profile for these, this group. And then send out messages. Hey, we're meeting tonight. Come on by.
Did my thing, got inducted on.
I'm gonna help drum up the follower count right now.
You get more traffic, more revenue. Why is revenue good? Mike, do you like money?
Yeah.
Why do you like money? It can be exchanged for goods and services, right? Kyle, what's brand awareness?
People know what your company is and
Who teaches social media marketing?
You know,
be a good teacher.
the best.
He didn't teach you brand awareness?
I will take him not this.
The digital marketing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He didn't teach you brand awareness yet? No? Do you know what it is? You have 116 followers,
We did
but only 8 of them are interacting.
You basically just. So basically just, your brand's what you stand for. Public image of that brand.
How many followers do you have on your cookie thing?
Almost 500.
And you're not spreading the news about other stuff there?
I mean, I'm only.
That's your brand. Dizzy Nick Cookies and your clubs that you're involved with. You can intertwine them.
I try to keep separate from personal life
Why?
because I feel like no one at school cares about me. I low key really.
But the food account might care about the stuff you're doing at school.
Like Dining Hall cares. Seton Hall officials,
Like
Survey
Patrick's
Cup
apparently
cares,
friends
but
with,
no one else follows my account.
Danny DeVito. Maybe he could have Danny DeVito's, advertise for you.
I've gotten some attention from celebrity chefs. That's all I need.
I don't know. man.
Who's the one who comes all the time?
J.R. Smith.
J.R. Smith.
Did a few holes. He worked with it.
Didn't he go here? Didn't he go here? Oh. What does build personal connection with clients mean? So how do you get more people in this club if nobody knows about it?
I promote
You promote it where?
social media,
Just on Instagram?
email.
Email? How's it done? You have 20 people. And what 3 majors is it? IT?
IT, finance, marketing, and a certificate in minor in cybersecurity. You better not buy bucks.
What do you-
Don't buy bucks because then it's not gonna go up. That's what you got
So
to
who is
do.
those 3 majors in class? Who is those 3 majors in here? Finance, IT management, and what's the other one?
What?
IT, finance, and what?
Marketing
And marketing.
and certificate in minor in cybersecurity.
And Gizzy Nick has never told any of you about this, right?
No, she told me.
She told just you,
Yeah,
About
her and Patrick are crewmates of Beta.
okay? But none of you have gotten these emails or Instagram
The
requests?
seven.
You
No?
said the whole rugby team was gonna
They
do
have classes
So
on
what are you
Thursday.
doing? Only Dom has heard about this. Nobody else has gotten Instagram requests or
Chased me down the
emails?
green. Chased me on the green for it.
She chased you on the
Yeah,
green?
Pat, her and Pat were doing it on the table. Chased me down.
I didn't chase you down, I stood by the table.
So what do you think these 4 are, Dom?
LinkedIn, Instagram.
They're probably the most commonly used
I would say so, yeah.
social media among you guys?
I would say, yeah. Say TikTok.
Maybe you guys have TikTok and what's the other one, Rob? The one with the V? Yeah,
You're feeling.
no, Vine's dead.
Let's go.
Visco,
There you go. Top one is beta, second one is my food account if you're feeling good.
what about the other 7 clubs you run? Why not? Disappointing.
It's not my fault.
We got one last slide, Mike. I didn't promise you anything. So on the, David, did you learn this? Did Billy teach you affiliate marketing or internet marketing? No? Kyle, did Billy teach you this? Exactly. So, yeah, because as Patrick pointed out, I'm the innovative prof. So I have random blog posts that I do from time to time, just because I feel like it. If you wanted to find out other ways to promote things, you could look at the one on affiliate marketing or the one on internet marketing. So you could use like Commission Junction, ClickBank, ClickShare, Google Keywords, Pingler. Where are we going? Promote on YouTube and they can make you money. Affiliate marketing. And then there's internet marketing. Does, what's his name? Dano? Does Dano teach you about internet marketing?
Yes.
So there's 5 Ps. What are they? Did he teach you the 5 Ps? Product, people, price, place, promotion. How about porters? Did he teach you porters? Okay, well, we'll leave that for probably never again. But, so yes, next week we'll do one last lecture. Then it'll be the podcast homework, and the final draft will be due a week from Sunday. Then the 21st and the 28th, come to class, work on your website, ask me to look at it, questions, what have you. Emily's gonna bring nachos. 13th. Nicole's gonna bring cookies, and then the juice boxes
No, top 10 Seinfeld.
and the Seinfeld episodes that day. But next week, since a couple of you are not gonna come back on the 28th after Thanksgiving, make sure you're here. We'll sign up for your presentations on the 5th and 12th of December. So basically, next week is kind of the last class you have to put in really any effort. Is the 21st and 28th, you come in, work on your website. The 5th and 12th, you're just sitting here listening to other people present. All right, any questions? Have a good night. I'll see you next week.
Rented our group.